Hello, welcome back. So today I want to do like a little what I read between the month from July to September. And so let's get into it. I read The Last Mrs. Parrish and The Next Mrs. Parrish. If you are looking for a girl boss mystery thriller, this is for you. The main male character was driving me crazy in both of the books, but we got a happy ending. I was on the edge of my seat reading both of these, and this came out this year, like late this year, and this one was my favorite out of both of them. I think this is the OG one, the better one, but I really like this one too. I was sitting on the edge of my seat the whole freaking time. Then going from a mystery thriller, I read The She's Not Sorry by Mary Kubica. This was also a new release of Mary Kubica. To be honest, this was not my favorite. I saw the ending coming, but I learned a lot from this book. So there was like a lot of medical information that were given in this book, and I learned a lot. So if you want to give this a chance, you can. But again, it was not my favorite mystery thriller that I read. Then The Midnight Feast. This was my recent read, and I'm gonna be straight honest. I listened to this on audiobook, and it literally went from one ear next to the other. The context of the book was intriguing, but it didn't catch me. Like, it was just like a lot going on, and like the plot, there was like some missing holes in the plot. It's just like was not for me. And last but not least, for a mystery thriller, I love Freida McFadden. If you know me, Freida McFadden got me back into reading. I read The Housemaid and Never Looks Back. I read the Do Not Disturb. I read this on my Kindle because all of her books are available on Kindle Unlimited. So I read the Do Not Disturb. This was not my favorite out of all Freida McFadden's discography, but it was like one of my favorites. I really like the storyline of like how the tension build up. Like, think about Freida McFadden books, you think you know what's gonna happen in the end, but you never know. And that's why she's one of my favorite authors. And I'm so excited for The Boyfriend to come out on October 1st. It is gonna be like this week. My first thing is gonna go buy that book. Really controversial opinion. I read The Akatar. I will get into it later. I'm reading Throne of Glass right now, and I'm loving it. Like, I'm at Queen of Shadows, and I'm literally about to finish with the whole series, and I just started this month. But Akatar, I read the first book. First of all, Feyre. Secondly, Tamlin. Third, Rhysand. But it was just not giving me what I wanted, and everybody kept telling me, read the book two, read the book two, read Asimov, read Asimov. Girl, when I tell you I DNF'd this book at like 25% in, because I was like, this is taking so long. But I will say this is going to be a soft DNF, not hard DNF, because I kind of want to go back to it because I love Throne of Glass, and I do want to give chance to both of these books and this series. And I know the new book is also coming out later this year or next year if I'm not wrong, so I definitely want to go back to it. I read Powerless by Laura Roberts like the beginning of this year. The Powerful came out. This book wrecked me into a new one. I sobbed like a baby. Poor Adina, and I was kind of mad that Mac was not in Reckless. After reading this book, I'm like, Mac is definitely going to be on book number 2, but he wasn't. So I was kind of mad about reading Reckless because of that. Mac and Adina's story was really important to the storyline, and I'm gonna be honest, reading Reckless, I got my hopes up so high, but it did not meet my expectations. I think the reason why is it's the second book, and second books are usually like, it's kind of like the middle book. Like, there's not really much going on, kind of like the middle child. I'm a middle child. There's really not much going on. So, but I'm really excited for Fearless. It comes out on April 2025 if I'm not wrong. This just didn't meet my expectations. This was like a 3 out of 5 for Bread. I read this book, tried to read this book 3 times, and on my 3rd try, I'm like, I'm just gonna listen to it on audiobook, because I'm like, there's no way that I can read this book. I actually got through it and I really liked it. So I'm excited to read Nightbane right now, but I'm reading Throne of Glass, so it has to wait. Once Upon a Broken Heart. This book had a lot of potential if I were able to not see the age gap between the male main character and female main character. Because she was like 17 and he's like, what, 500 years old? I don't know. I know it's fiction. I know it's not real, but like, come on, the hell. On to a little sweet books. I read The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. I love this book. I read this in Miami, which is a really important setting to read this book in because it's the perfect place to read it. And I loved it every second. The main male character, I will say this, it's made for hire, right? These are both giving the same energy. But on this book, the main male character gave me the ick so many times. I was like, I don't know if I can read this. She was such a girl boss, so I finished it. And also the main male character gave me the ick several times in this book too, because it's a rom-com. Both of them are rom-coms. I don't want to get into the fall vibes and kind of want to stay in that summer vibes. I highly recommend both of these books. You have Christina Lauren. I read Tangled Up in You. This was such a sweet book. I loved every second of it. Don't worry, there's no smut, so your childhood won't get ruined. But I love the storyline of it, like how it is in a Disney setting. Like, it's just like, I loved it. So good. Then Binding 13. This hit a little too close to home. That's why I couldn't read the book number 2, Keeping 13. I think that's what it's called, because I need to mentally prepare myself. This book was an emotional roller coaster. Johnny, he's one of my best book boyfriends. I love him. I love how he's protective over her, like, because she's just a baby girl. She's literally just a girl and she's going through a lot of trauma and all of that, and he's so protective of her, and I loved it. I love this book. Then my favorite read of 2024, The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This book, I cannot even begin to how to express this book. It's in a setting of World War II. 2 different point of views of how the World War II is perceived by 2 sisters. And I'm gonna be honest, this is a little bit of an advanced reading. The writing style of Kristen Hanna is a little bit complicated than a lot of authors. So if you do want to read this book, just be aware. And I read the Gold Rush Ranch series. I read the Photo Finish and After the Races. I'm gonna be honest, a photo finish, the storyline made me kind of a little but After the Races got me into cowboy romance. I tried to read Flawless, but I DNF'd it. Everybody's telling me to move on, and it gets better after book number 2 and book number 3 at Chestnut Spring series, but I just could not go past it. Like, I could not read it. But After Races was one of my favorite Elta Silver books, and I'm not gonna take them all out because like it takes so much time to take them all out. But I read the Throne of Glass series, I read the Assassin Blade, I read the Throne of Glass, I read Crown of Midnights, and I read Air of Fire. I'm at Queen of Shadows right now, and oh dear good god, if you want to see a more deep dive into Throne of Glass series, make sure to subscribe to my channel, because I want to do like a solely video just of Throne of Glass, because it's just like, I think it deserves its own video. So yeah, that was all the books that I read between the month of July to September. Hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also like this video for more book content. And I will see you guys. Bye!